Well, it don't matter too much if the thumbnail is a little creepy. There went that book. 20 euros. Semi down the drain. I would say that I got my 5 euros worth of that. Book should cost about 5 euros. Hello everyone, it's another book review. This time we're talking about those people that said fuck society and fuck the system and lived on their own devices, but mostly lived off the support of some king, ruler or whatever type of religious order it was, and some of them even achieved great states of spiritual prowess and enlightenment. The Book of Hermits by Robert Rodriguez, not the same Robert Rodriguez that wrote the book about directing movies, by the way. Different Robert Rodriguez, and here he goes into the traditions of the Buddhists, how they do the hermit life, and he goes into some experiences from the beginnings of times with this pillar, those ascetics on top of those pillars, those sort of people. And he talks about also kind of the philosophical thoughts that have sprang from that, metaphysical musings about the nature and how to become more sensitive to that nature. I've seen the effects of this book in my own life in the past few months over here. Been reading it, but I don't think that it's a kind of a book that almost nobody would be interested in, the Book of Hermits. But if you feel like you don't really belong in the world or in the society, then be rest assured that these people suffered all the same. They suffered all the same. Maybe they could avoid some of the pitfalls of the society, but really he talks about solitude over here. He talks about solitude over here and how that solitude is kind of very hard to reach, how it's very hard to actually be alone. I mean, you always have thoughts and always stuff happens. You want this solitude, but you cannot really achieve it. And we tend to blame a lot of stuff why we cannot really reach solitude and peace of mind and create these clauses in our just psyche that we have to do something to get rid of this and this sort of stuff. And I feel that, well, yeah, it's impossible to kind of do without society nowadays. Maybe some can do it, but you know, it's just this way, the lights go off and yeah, so how do you live in a world that really, for a lot of people, just rejects them off the bat? You know, you live rejected in a world that doesn't want you and doesn't even care about you, and the world is so fucking grand and there's so many people out there. How do you find any meaning in that? And yeah, this is a book that might be the most important book of your life, or it might be the most useless book of your life. But I think it's a good collection for anybody that wants to kind of understand, mainly males, why do they act reclusive. And he mentions females over here, and also goes into the speculation of why the man's mind is more resilient to solitude and being alone. Why men have more resilience to this. But it's not something that would interest anybody. Big time fuckers like 4 children and 5th one coming up. So for those that get all the women pregnant, I don't think this book is worthwhile to read at all. But if you have not win in the gene pool lottery and you have, so to say, bad cards in your life, maybe this could be some grains of wisdom or some way that you could still kind of live. And yeah, and there's not a lot of stories of suicide in this book. It's more about stories of surrender to death. There's a couple of those stories, but some of these hermits, they have actually lived quite a long lives. Probably better lives than they would have lived other ways and wise. So yeah, in the end he also talks about kind of a Christian sect that has a very Advaita Vedanta type of a view on reality and how divinity is in everything, and there's even this kind of a Christian sect in the world that recognizes God in each and everything there is. He pulls some examples over here, and I think that this book was for me pretty well spent of time that I read it, but it's not anything that will make you seem in the eyes of the world the grandest, the greatest and the biggest of the fuckers ever out there. So yeah, that's what this book, the Book of Hermits, was all about. Let's make a thumbnail out of that. I can't even smile no more. I really have no kind of joyful life left. Well, it don't matter too much if the thumbnail is a little creepy. There went that book. 20 euros semi down the drain. I would say that I got my 5 euros worth of that. Book should cost about 5 euros. I feel that their value is about on that level, but they're probably pretty expensive nowadays to kind of manufacture and all that, so I guess I understand. And writers have to eat too, but they probably don't do too well. Most of them, except Stephen King, and I'm listening to that shit right now and digging it a lot. So we're going into more of the fictional realm next, and more book reviews coming up in the future, but as you see, this didn't excite me too much.